Ladies and gentlemen, you hear that theme music, but this is not for the Eastern Conference Game of Thrones. This is for the return of the real Game of Thrones. Jordan, how excited are you? I want to hear your thoughts on that first episode, Jordan. Is that everything that you expected of the new season?
I'm always kind of torn when Game of Thrones is also on during basketball games, because Game of Thrones comes on every couple of years, whereas basketball is a consistent thing, so now I have to divide my attention.
Yeah, especially because the Game of Thrones is on at 6 p.m.
It's prime time.
It's the exact time that the Raptors will be playing the Orlando Magic tonight. I don't know what to do, Jordan. I don't know what to do.
It's just one of those things you have to decide. Game of Thrones is reportable. Basketball also is reportable.
Mm-hmm.
We have a basketball podcast, not a Game of Thrones podcast. But yeah, take me through that first episode. I did also watch it, obviously.
Yeah.
I did think it was a little slow to start for a first episode. Because we
Yeah.
got to bring everybody back. We got to reacquaint them with their storylines. And then, okay, now we got 5 episodes to kill them all off.
Right, yeah. So this is also a spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't seen the first episode of the new season for Game of Thrones.
That's right. That's right.
Skip forward about a minute. We're just going to go quickly here. Well, I thought it was a little kind of interesting how, Daenerys and Jon Snow are out here going on cute little waterfall dates with their dragons. Meanwhile, the army of the dead is marching towards them.
It's the first time I've ever seen in this series where Daenerys wasn't just hell-bent on, getting the throne or winning a war or something, where she's like, you know what, Jon seems like a nice guy. Let's go hang out in the mountains with my dragons and have kinky dragon sex.
Yeah. That dragon wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, he wasn't feeling that.
Nah. And I did also think it was a little slow, which makes me even more excited about tonight's episode, because shit's got to go down.
Yeah,
Somebody's got to die tonight.
Oh, agreed, totally. I've been hearing a lot of people say Tyrion, like we're gonna get one of these low-key characters,
Lannister?
like Brienne of Tarth, or...
Wait, low-key? I wouldn't really call him low-key, but...
Yeah, he's a secondary character, really, of the main characters that the story arc covers.
He's very important, though.
Yeah.
He's very important in the storyline. Okay. So, besides that,
What'd you think of the whole Cersei Lannister scene, where it's, if you wanna have sex, go find a whore.
Yeah. If you want a whore, buy one. If you want a queen, earn her.
That's a good quote. I like that quote.
That's gonna be popping up on people's Tinder profiles for the next,
6 months. Minimum.
Yeah,
6 months minimum.
Yeah, no doubt. That was interesting, and then it turns out that the dude did actually earn her.
Hey, shoot a shot, right? I gotta respect the guy for going for it.
Yeah, the greasy pirate got it done. I don't even remember his name, to be honest.
There's too many names.
Greasy pirate that didn't bring her elephants. That was that was my takeaway there.
That's pretty much the sum of the first episode.
He should have brought her elephants.
He should have brought her. Girls love elephants, right?
Yeah.
Give that girl an elephant.
No
Girls
doubt.
love Well, it's kind of funny because Game of Thrones, they don't have their names on the back and jerseys, so that's why I can remember every basketball player's name, because I see it daily.
Yeah.
I liked what she did, by the way. I like that bold power move about letting them, come on in. Mainly because I guess from the old episodes a couple years ago, she was pregnant with Jaime Lannister's kid.
Yeah, her brother.
So now she can fake that one off like she did all her other kids, that it's actually not incest.
So. That's an interesting angle.
Yeah, bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off in 6 episodes.
Yeah, let's see if they get through that timeline within 6 episodes.
I doubt it, but
he did tell her he's going to put a prince inside her.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now he thinks he did.
Well, any bold... So you had your prediction for who you think's going to die.
That's right, yeah.
I still think it goes Night King in 4. I think he... I just think that everybody's a little too distracted out here. Daenerys is out here doing cute little dates. Who's that? Bran's out here just staring at everybody awkwardly. So I think the Night King takes this one, man. I don't know. It's not looking too bright for the Watchers of the Wall.
Yeah, it'd kind of be interesting to see a whole storyline lose, but I mean that's typical Game of Thrones fashion.
Yeah.
So you never know. I believe that is a legit possibility.
Yeah. I'm picking Night King in 4.
Night King in 4. All right.
We talked about the Game of Thrones. Now let's get out back to the Game of Zones, NBA basketball. You ready to give and go?
Yo, Queens and Dirty Pirates, give me Jared Dudley and Joel Embiid over them any day. Let's give and go.
Beautiful basketball. The Sixers are playing give and go.
NBA Give and Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are live in Vancouver, BC, with the two hosts who are giving you the most. It's the Dream Team, Raj Sharma, with my boy, Jordan Taylor.
Hey, yo, Raj. How you doing?
Hey, it's all good, man.
Give me a high five.
Hey, there we go.
Give me a high five on the pod, man.
It's good to be out here this weekend.
Hashtag no phones today.
Yeah.
No phone calls.
Yeah, exactly. We had a good weekend. Nice seeing the whole crew.
Yeah.
Nice being in Vancouver. It feels like summertime out here already, man.
Do you miss the big city atmosphere about how we can go anywhere to play ball or go anywhere to watch basketball on a TV at a bar? It's just that simple.
Oh yeah, we watched the Raptors game live out at Charles Bar.
Yeah, shout out to Charles Bar.
Yeah.
Love that bar.
Y'all doing it right. If there's Vancouver basketball fans, Raptors fans out there, go hit out the Charles Bar. They'll be playing the game.
They'll treat you right.
With sound. With the sound on.
Major key. They treat you right.
Yeah, that's right. So, Jordan, we got a lot to talk about. Let's just get right into it. This has been the first week of the NBA playoffs. One series is already done. The Boston Celtics have swept the Indiana Pacers. I, for one, am shocked. I thought this was going to go the distance. I actually had picked Indiana to win the series. They end up getting swept. Jordan, what do you think was the cause here, man?
I told you last pod, like I'm telling you again, Boston's depth is unmatched.
Mm-hmm.
They're a scary team. One of the teams, like we said, is okay, they've had problems internally being able to communicate and work together as a group. They've put it together for the playoffs. Everyone has put that differences aside. I still think Marcus Smart getting injured has helped balance the rotation. Yeah, you got guys in the spots that they were last year now because Marcus Smart was out. It was very similar to where Kyrie's position was.
Right.
So Rozier's your backup guard.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown's your starter. Gordon Hayward. Man, shout out to Gordon Hayward. He's like really been like embracing that 6-man role.
Yeah.
And he had 30 points or 20. He had a pretty good game today.
Yeah.
20 or 30 points. 20 points, I think.
Yeah.
To knock on Indiana.
They closed it out today. I think that you're right, and you mentioned everybody's back at their old roles. Plus Kyrie and Gordon Hayward.
Playoff Kyrie is a real thing we forgot about from him being out from a year ago.
Yeah, we forgot what playoff Kyrie is like, and it is scary. Like, one-on-one, shot clock going down, there aren't too many players that are more clutch than Kyrie.
I mean, his defense in front of him is Darren Collison and Corey Joseph.
Wes Matthews.
And he's got torn Achilles.
He's a little washed. In my opinion, Wes is a little washed now.
Kyrie took advantage of the situation and he performed.
Yeah.
Indiana?
You know what? Indiana, they put up a fight. There was 3 of the 4 games were very, very tight. Could have gone either way. I think their issue was that they just didn't have a closer down the stretch. They really missed Victor Oladipo.
They did, and it showed.
Yeah,
they really did.
Bogdanovich, regular season, he was great as their number 1 option. He's put up over 20 points a game this season. But, when the playoff time comes, everybody's locking down on him. He seemed to kind of turtle and shell away from all the attention when it came down to it, especially game 1. He was very passive, not really, not really what you want from your alpha 1A lead guy. So I think they missed Victor Oladipo. They put up a great fight. Their defense was crazy this series. Like, they both played some tough defense. And I thought, I'm pretty sure 3 of these 4 games, they had the lead going into the 4th quarter and then blew it at the end. Because again, like you mentioned, Kyrie's clutch.
There's not a closer. And if you want to talk about defensive intensity, all I got to say is Boston was a better team.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who's leading into the 4th. It's who's leading after the 4th.
Yeah,
Boston proved that they were the ones who could handle it.
Indy couldn't close it out, so Boston's on to the 2nd round. Another series that's getting pretty close here. It's been chippy, Jordan. It's the 3 versus 6 matchup.
Mm-hmm.
The Philadelphia 76ers versus the Brooklyn Nets. Man,
did you honestly think when the playoffs started that Philly versus Brooklyn was going to be the most talked about first round series this year.
Well, you know what? With all the personalities out there, with D'Angelo Russell,
He's been
Jimmy
quiet,
Butler,
though. Jimmy,
I know,
yes.
but Embiid,
Joel Embiid, yes.
Ben Simmons.
You know what? He's coming into a little bit of a playoff trash talker right now, too.
Yeah, they're arrogant, man. This Sixers team, they've been very arrogant. They hold a 3-1 lead over the Brooklyn Nets as we speak right now. All their antics are working now against this young and inexperienced Brooklyn team. But second round, if they're playing against Toronto or a more experienced veteran team, they're not going to be able to bully them like they are right now with the Brooklyn Nets. So I'd be a little weary if I were them. You know, Joel Embiid, you hear his post-game comments?
I did. I still can't believe that this guy went off and said those kind of things.
Yeah, wait, let's play the clip.
You got the clip?
I got the clip.
Minutes, you weren't sure right up until tip whether you were going to play.
It was really important because we wanted to get this one and go home and try to finish it. So it feels good to be up 3-1. So we definitely don't want to be in a situation like the Warriors 2 years ago.
Joel.
I was kidding, man. No, I was kidding, but no, we wanted to be able to close it at home, man. So
Two things for you
Okay.
right away on this, Raj.
Yeah.
One, did Brooklyn steal a game from Philadelphia?
That game one?
That game one.
yeah,
Because this series has felt way closer until you realize that Philly has just rattled off 3 straight wins against Brooklyn, and they've had no answers.
I think so, man. I think it was a case of, and especially since the game was in Philly.
That's
And,
right. They stole a game.
Yeah, the Nets were feeling good. They've got the momentum of the regular season. But I think now that it's come down to it, I think the playoff experience that Philly has with JJ Redick, Jimmy Butler, who's just been this is why they brought him here.
This is the reason why.
Yeah,
He
been a
couldn't
closer.
save Joel on the press conference booth, but I mean, he's going to save him on the court for sure.
Oh yeah, nobody can save Joel. Like he speaks his mind, man.
Speaks his mind. Second thing, speaking of Joel, are there legit health concerns? And do those health concerns directly coincide with him and the Philadelphia 76ers going far in this year's tournament?
Well, you know what? His knee's been flaring up, but honestly,
And he sat games and they've won.
He has.
And
he
he's
has.
and he's played hurt and they've lost.
So, well, if they can close this out here and get him some rest before the next series start, I think it'll be good for them. I can't really see him sitting out many more games going forward. If he is, that's some major red flags. I would really question how far they can go in these playoffs if they don't have a healthy Joel Embiid. Without him, I would say they won't make the conference finals. But with him, they have a legit shot of winning the NBA championship. He's that good.
I disagree. I have no faith in Philadelphia making a championship. I will give you an Eastern Conference Finals berth. But if you're trying to tell me that they're going to be able to play with Milwaukee in that final round, to play the Warriors, or maybe Houston, or one of these other Western Conference teams, you've got to be kidding yourselves.
The star power, man. You need that star power. They have no... What's the weak link in that starting five?
Team chemistry. That's the weak link.
Chemistry.
I mean, I get it. You're right, because JJ Redick has disappeared. And Tobias, he wasn't there for the first 2 games.
Yeah, until he dropped 36.
And you're right, because
and Redick had a big 20-point game as well.
So they're gonna fluctuate like this, and because of that star power, like you're saying, it's definitely an asset because you can have guys take nights off essentially, and you will be okay. But against a better team, you need everybody firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, but they need Embiid.
They do, absolutely, 100%.
They need him. He's just that good of a talent. He's a generational type of player. So
powerful post player.
They better hope to close this one out and get him some rest for that knee.
I agree.
So third matchup, let's go out to the Western Conference. This has probably been the tightest matchup that we've seen so far, I would say.
It's underrated.
Yeah.
I don't think it's getting the attention it deserves because of the 2 teams that are playing.
Exactly, man. It's the number 2 Denver Nuggets versus the number 7 San Antonio Spurs. And Jordan, is it just me, or do the Nuggets feel like underdogs here?
the 2 seed is an underdog.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of reasons why. It's the majority of the team's first playoff experience.
Yeah.
Head coach Mike Malone, being the, apprentice to the master Greg Popovich, is now playing his old boss.
Yeah, he was an assistant with Popovich before.
Cue the Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith music, you know what I mean? Like, it's got all these underlying tones to it. And I mean, they played very similar games, San Antonio and Denver.
Yeah, the team basketball, sharing the rock.
Inside out.
Yeah.
Kick in for the big man and then let him operate and try and get you a 3-point shot.
Totally. I found it interesting with the San Antonio Spurs. I had a lot of eyes on DeMar DeRozan. He has not choked this playoffs, Jordan, but I think it's because of the fact that now he isn't having to be that number one option on this team anymore.
Yep.
He's actually sliding into maybe a second, third, or even some nights fourth option on the San Antonio Spurs, thanks to LaMarcus Aldridge, fellow All-Star, Derek White, who's just had his coming out party this playoffs.
Yeah, we gotta stop and talk about Derek White. That guy is playing like a man possessed.
Yeah.
And I mean, in typical San Antonio Spurs fashion, a guy in the late first round of the University of Colorado played really well in the combine, made his draft stock move up, and that guy's super athletic.
He can fly.
He is deceivingly athletic on the basketball
Yeah,
court.
and his defense has been another. He blocks shots, gets steals. He's dunking on people. This dude.
And he's got a 3-point shot.
Yeah.
That's a complete package for a late first round pick. That's impressive.
And no one is surprised that it's Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs that have discovered him.
Stoneface Greg, man. Stoneface Greg.
Yeah, the White Walkers. They're-
Well, hit me with this, though. It frustrates me as a DeMar DeRozan fan for him to settle like this. And I'm not saying he is settling as an athlete or basketball player, but like maybe so much was demanded from him in Toronto,
yeah,
and that now he has those other options where he doesn't have to be the number one option, like you're saying.
right. I would give him a lot of credit from using what he had learned in Toronto as becoming a facilitator and kind of a shot creator for people, because he didn't have that early on in his career. He started to develop the ability to get assists and play make out of the pick and roll as he went further along in his career. And pairing him with Greg Popovich has really allowed him to embrace that playmaking ability that he has, because he draws so much attention attacking the rack. So I would give him some credit for falling into this role, but it is a little sad to not see him be that Kobe light,
Thank you.
That's he's been marketed as his entire career.
This is not the DeMar from the Toronto Raptors days. Agreed. Yeah, he's averaging 15 points a game in this series.
Yeah,
This guy averaged 28
for the Raptors.
for the Raptors.
It's weird. He's like becoming a super role player. Almost.
and that's really frustrating. It's like, okay, did we just see DeMar DeRozan hit his ceiling? Or Western Conference.
Is he over the ceiling? Maybe this was his ideal role all along.
And hence, is this why the Toronto Raptors traded him for a guy like Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah. Maybe it's because Kawhi is a superstar on another level. He's that superstar that's capable of being that 1A alpha carrying your team.
The superstar. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
We just had 420, so yeah. Super salad. I'll have a super salad.
Yeah, that's
oh
right.
God.
Well, DeRozan couldn't get it done in Toronto. You know, and maybe he'll have better luck this round, because if he gets past these Denver Nuggets, it looks like there might be a chance for him to even advance to the Western Conference Finals if they keep going. We talked about this being the ideal draw for a Western Conference playoff team in that bracket.
It's the path to the Western Conference Finals. It's the easiest route.
Without having to play Golden State or Houston.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens with that series.
Last one before we go. Give me this. How many more times is Charles Barkley going to incorrectly predict the outcome of the games in the series based on what Jamal Murray is wearing?
Oh, he's been picking off Jamal Murray's outfits.
That's right.
Oh, man. Well, you know what? I don't trust anything Chuck says anyways. So, you know what?
Sir Chuck to you.
Yeah. The only thing I give him some respect because he's trying to keep Toronto on the map. Big respects to Chuck for that.
A little late, but better late than never.
Yeah, well, he's always had our back. Chuck's always had the Raptors back, so I'll give him some props. He's been Toronto's his favorite city. He name drops Norm and Norm Kelly, who was the Toronto prime minister. Not his prime minister. I don't know. There's some politician.
What?
There's some politician that Chuck's always name dropping.
All right, Chuck. Well, good for you, I guess.
Rod Black. He name drops Rod Black all the time.
Oh my God, I have no idea. Let's move on. I got nothing to say about Chuck and his name dropping in Toronto.
All right. Well, let's talk about the winner of whoever wins from the San Antonio-Denver series will then go on to play the winner of Portland versus OKC.
Ooh.
Now, this one isn't going as I thought it would. I thought this was going to be OKC running away with this after the injury to Yusuf Nurkic. But instead, it's been Enes Kanter that was out here hitting game winners, getting near 20 games in the playoffs. What? Jordan, what's going on here? The Portland Trailblazers have a 2-1 lead over the OKC Thunder.
So, I gotta stop you right there. Kanter had one 2020 game.
Yeah.
The other games have been very more Kanter-esque.
Okay.
15-8, 10 and something.
But he's filling this role that I didn't think he could in the playoffs.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because, we look at the OKC series versus Golden State a couple years ago, and he wasn't playable. His foot speed was so slow that he was getting burned that he just sat on the bench. So for now, he's got a little bit of a feather in his hat. It's time to go, yeah, well, you guys didn't trust me to play with OKC, so I'm going to try and punish you. He's playing a lot better than he has in other playoff series when he was with OKC, but he's not a defensive stopper. He's not playing good defense.
No doubt. But
the real storyline here is Dollar Dame and Russell Westbrook fighting each other out.
Yeah.
And I know you got something else in the back of your mind there about another certain, small forward on the OKC that you probably want to get off your chest. But let me hit you with the Dame Russ playoffs.
Yeah, this has been the marquee matchup.
This is vintage playoff basketball.
Yeah.
This is two superstars going against each other.
Yeah, I love it.
We talked about this before the pod started about, all right, so who on the bench can you rely on in OKC and Portland?
Schroeder's the only one on OKC. And, Portland, their bench is iffy too. They've maybe Seth Curry, who's finally hitting a shot or two.
Rodney Hood or Evan Turner. These guys are not proven guys.
It's a battle of the starters and a battle of the point guards.
And that's why this series is fun to watch. And I'm saying it here that it's going to go the distance. Now,
7 games?
I agree with you, and I believe I did agree with you on last episode, that OKC had the upper hand.
Mm-hmm.
But now, after seeing a couple of these games, this is a very even series because of the injuries that both teams have dealt with or maybe are dealing with.
Yeah.
Raj, what do you got in the news for me about the OKC team that we need to talk about?
Yeah, well, you know what? Playoff P, Paul George, is not really... He's off. He's off. Something's off with him. He mentioned before the playoffs started that he couldn't even lift his right shoulder, above his head. It was that bad.
That really gets me. Because if a guy says he can't raise his shoulder above his head for a playoff game, and he plays, and he shoots the ball, I get it.
Shoots it terribly.
But we're getting stuff pumped into his shoulder, obviously. Cortisone or icing or whatever you need to do to get it playoff ready. But, why are you playing? What are you giving any sort of benefit to your team?
I think he is, because look at the alternatives. We just mentioned the bench is trash. There's going to be nobody there to replace him. At least he'll draw attention so that Russ can maybe go off and win the series for him. But his shooting is off, and coming from a guy who's dealt with his fair shoulder injuries, I think this is a legitimate issue, and it's not something that's going to be fixed in the playoffs. This is something that'll need to be fixed with rest and with time.
This is concerning if you are an OKC fan. I'm still not sold. I think that Paul George is not the playoff performer that we all know and love and think he is.
The playoff P.
Playoff P. What has Playoff P done for the teams that he's played for?
Well, they haven't won series.
And I mean, you talked about before the pod started, the LeBron James factor.
Yeah.
Who killed so many good franchise teams.
He killed a lot of dreams.
He killed a lot of dreams. So I give you that, before we started chatting on the pod, I give you that one. But I'm not sold on Paul George being a playoff performer. Mm-hmm. Regular season, that guy was dominating. And okay, you guys knew you guys made the playoffs, but yet now you got these shoulder issue injuries. Like, I'm not buying it. So something's either really messed up, and he's playing through it, or I'm hearing excuses.
Right.
I'm hearing excuses.
Well, let's see, man. They got Game 4, OKC versus Portland is the next one.
Can't wait. That'll be a good game.
Must-see TV. All right, man. Well, we got 5 more minutes left on the pod. Let's rip through these. We got Golden State versus the Clippers. I know you want to talk a little bit about the greatest comeback in the history of the game. Where were you, Jordan? Where were you when all this happened?
My ass, I'll admit it, Internet. I'm about to go to bed. They're up by 30, and I turned it off. I went to bed. I turned it off. I did. I said, they're up by 30, third quarter. I got to go to work tomorrow. I got a double shift. I am done.
And you missed the greatest comeback in the history of the game.
I missed the greatest comeback in the history.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't have blamed you. I would have never thought that a comeback like this.
Did you see it? Did you watch
it? I just turned it on when they were down 20. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, this is getting interesting. Oh, okay. Oh, Lou Will, you crazy. And Montrezl Harrell, like, every inch and every game that the Clippers are making this a competitive series, it just worries me for the state of the Raptors and Kawhi Leonard leaving in the summer to go play for this Clippers team.
I mean, that's the personnel. That's another personnel thing. As we're speaking, though, Golden State did just beat LA.
They did.
So that was 3-1 series now. I think that was a steal. Yeah, that was fun to watch.
Yeah, but
it's the same thing with talking about KD and Patrick Beverly beef.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's been fun. Yeah. Exactly.
It's cute.
You know what? We thought there wasn't much to say about this series. They've given us something to watch. I mean, that's
at least they've given us an entertaining series. We do want to give a big shout out though. Sad news for the Warriors.
Right.
Boogie Cousins tore his right quad muscle. And he's out for the year.
But they're saying he doesn't need surgery.
He doesn't, but still, it's a torn quad muscle. I mean,
it's better than having surgery like Tony Parker did.
Yeah, he's not going to be out for 12 months.
But yeah, what terrible news.
Yeah.
Like, this might be the end of Boogie Cousins in the NBA.
Well, or this could be Boogie returning back to the Warriors next season. Another year of rehab, another year of competing. And if KD leaves, he could have an even bigger role with that team.
But he's going to be out for a year.
It's not a year.
It's going to be Tony Parker was out for like 8 months when he did it.
Yeah. Well, let's wait to hear on the timelines. I can just say the Warriors are lucky they signed Andrew Bogut. That's all I can say. Oh my God.
I can't believe that's working out. The fact that Andrew Bogut was playing in the Australian League and won the MVP.
And Defensive Player of the Year.
Let's just be honest. The Australian League is not where it needs to be for a talent like Andrew Bogut.
No.
I think he's going to have problems staying in front of people, but I do think you're right that this has been the best luck for them because without Boogie, they would have had huge lineup issues.
For sure. It's basically the same team they had a couple years ago.
Right. What do we got next?
You got anything to say about the Bucks versus Pistons?
I mean, that dunk that Giannis did, that was pretty neat.
The boy flies.
I've been saying this all week. I'm glad Blake Griffin is back, so now they're just going to stop losing by 30. They're only going to lose by 15.
Yeah, that's because he comes and he's just a shit disturber. He just
What?
He's always starting beef, man.
You think Blake Griffin's a shit disturber?
He's got one of the most punchable faces in the entire NBA.
I don't think that. Is that like a ginger? Are you being mean to gingers?
I'm not being mean to gingers.
We have something wrong with
Blake Griffin, he's just an asshole, man.
Are you calling gingers assholes?
Do you remember when that trainer was there massaging his leg and he grabbed his head and kind of made an obscure gesture with the trainer? And then he also punched that trainer in Toronto after a team dinner. And Drake hid all the tapes and confiscated everything and didn't let it get released.
Oh, Drake.
Yeah, shout out to the Six God. But, I don't know, Blake Griffin, he's going to make this, an unwatchable series to a semi-unwatchable series. It's over. They're going home. Dwayne Casey, pack your bags.
Yeah, you're right. There's not much else to say here.
Let's talk about Raptors.
Give me some Raptor news.
They're struggling.
This is This is scary for Raptors fans, especially losing another game 1 at home in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Kyle Lowry with his classic 0-point performance, 3rd of his career.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. But he didn't just bunk the whole game. He did things in other ways. He did rebounds, he did assists, he took charges.
Now you're sounding like Andrea Bargnani. It's not called rebound ball, it's called basketball.
You know what? And I get that. And that's why I still agree. You're making $30 million a year. You cannot drop an egg in the first round.
You can't have 0 points as your all-star point guard.
You're all-star. You can't do it.
He's bounced back, though.
He's been playing a lot better in the other 2 games.
Could have a game-saving rebound at the end of game 3.
And they've been winning basketball games.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Well, you know what? I gave credit to the real playoff P, Spicy P, Pascal Siakam.
Oh, handing the P's over.
Yeah, so this is his coming out party. Like, he became the first Toronto Raptor since Chris Bosh to have a 30-point, 10-rebound playoff game. The only player besides LeBron and Giannis in the last 5 years to have over 30 points and 10 rebounds with no turnovers in the entire game. LeBron, Giannis, and Pascal Siakam are the only 3 guys to have that stat line.
This guy's been playing basketball for 7 years.
That's it.
That's it. News broke out after Game 3 in Orlando that Kawhi Leonard was playing sick and had not practiced with a flu. He basically had a flu. And he went out there and he played and struggled. And we got into a clutch point where Orlando made a 10-point comeback and made the game close. And they tried to go ISO Kawhi and he couldn't do it. And who was there to save him? Pascal Siakam.
That's right.
Spicy P.
He's the future.
He's more than the future. He's looking like the best Raptor.
Yeah.
The best Raptor on the team right now.
He might be the MVP of this series, to be honest.
This guy's a 3rd-year player. This is insane.
Crazy. His development, he's got that most improved player on lock, if it wasn't already.
I feel like this definitely helps his case.
Yeah.
And I'm still agreeing that I think that Pascal Siakam is more deserving than Jello. But Jello had less help around him, which makes me feel that's going to be the difference.
For the Orlando side, though, I think they need to basically... The only time they've really been playing well is when Marc Gasol's in foul trouble.
On the bench.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the only way Nick Vucevic goes off. He's been lighting Serge Ibaka up.
And like we said before, this is a matchup nightmare for Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, for Toronto. For Toronto. That's right. Vucevic's been eating Ibaka up.
Yeah.
Like breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, midnight snack, post-drink snack.
Oh my God.
Everything. He's everywhere on Ibaka.
He's a snack.
And there's no one else on this team, Orlando team, that's really doing anything that can...
Yeah, besides Ross. T. Ross, his threes are timely.
Well, T. Ross, like we talked about, really grown up.
Yeah.
And he's making it hard for the Raptors to not guard him with an absolute, like a glove.
For sure.
Do we see this series extending past 5-6 games? Are we going to see a game 6, game 7 in this?
I think that this gets closed out in 6 games.
6 games. So you think there's going to be one more Orlando win?
I think so.
I mean, we got a game tonight. Raj and I will be tuning in. We will see if Orlando can make this happen.
That's right, man. So
what's the last one on the list?
A quick one, man. I want your thoughts on Houston, Utah. Houston's up 3-0 in this series, despite James Harden having like one of the worst shooting performances in the history of the NBA playoffs. Started 0 for 15 and finished 3 of 20 in the end of the game, and they still defeated the Utah Jazz. What's going on?
Man, I love James Harden.
Yeah?
And I love James Harden because they went to him at the end of the game and said, you just broke a record for the most misses in an NBA playoff game. He's like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
He's unconscious.
No, short-term memory loss.
That's right. He's like Melo. He's like Melo. If I'm gonna shoot 0 for 20, I'm gonna shoot 0 for 30.
That's right.
I'm a shooter. That's what I do.
He don't care.
So, speaking of James Harden, you were super high on Utah coming into this series. You felt they were going to give them a lot of trouble based on their defensive ability and the players that they had surrounding Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
We're 3 games in this playoff series and they haven't been able to do it, Raj. What happened?
I just think that it's a problem of not getting much help. I expected Joe Ingles to be a lot better than he has been.
The players in Utah have not stepped up.
Yeah.
The fans have stepped their game up.
Fans have stepped up.
Have you seen some signs out there, man? The signs in Utah?
Utah fans are passionate.
James Harden uses Facebook. James Harden drives a Prius. You know, it's a real wholesome Utah. Yeah, the Prius
those are good ones.
That's
Those are
right.
good ones.
Yeah. Really, it sends it home.
Yeah, those dig deep, man.
That's
but
right.
I just don't think they're getting enough help for Donovan Mitchell, who's shown a lot of heart this playoff series. He's a young guy, 21 years old. Kyle Korver said he's never seen a young guy take such ownership of a team before in his entire career. So, big words for him. But I think Houston's depth is just too much.
I agree.
Their system, the three-point shooting. You know, they're literally trying to prevent a Harden step-back jump. Did you just see the defense that Rubio's been playing?
I saw that clip. Rubio is butt-hugging James Harden.
Yeah, playing him from behind him. Yeah, to funnel him into Rudy Gobert and prevent a step-back three-pointer because it's just such a dangerous move. He'd rather allow Harden to drive to the bucket. That's playing some percentages. They definitely did some analytic work on that.
That's wild. Now, Rudy Gobert, been great defensively, non-existent offensively in this series.
That's not his game. His game isn't, passing the ball down low and get buckets. He's offensive rebounds.
We were talking about this guy trying to be an all-star this
Yeah,
year.
but for his defense, too. His defense is a big part of that.
Defense don't win all-star. Defense wins championships, but not all-star games.
And that's what he's upset about, too.
Well,
because
Clint Capella,
Yeah.
he's been playing great.
Yeah, because he knows his role.
Yep.
He's going to get rebounds, get alley-oops, and set some hard screens.
And Rudy hasn't been able to stop Clint.
Yeah, I know. It's been tough. So I think the lights are basically out for the Utah Jazz here.
I do. And Houston's going to have a lot of time to sit and watch the winner of OKC Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Golden State.
You're right. I've got it backwards. So, yeah, they'll have to think about... They're probably already looking at Golden State.
Oh, yeah. They've been looking at Golden State. So
they're hungry.
That's a fun matchup for next round.
That's the matchup. That's the matchup.
Yeah.
I think that matchup will be better than whoever goes to the Western Conference Finals this year.
Or the NBA Finals. I think that's the real finals.
Wow.
Golden State versus Houston. That's the real finals.
I won't give you that. And I won't give you that because Milwaukee's still in it. But I think that's actually not a bad quote.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we went a little bit over today, but it's the first week of the playoffs.
Just like Indiana, we blew it.
Yeah, but that's all right. We'll be back later this week.
And we're going to sweep it like Boston. Am I right?
That's right, boy.
All right.
All right. So, Jordan, take us home, man.
Hey, this has been another fabulous episode of the Give and Go podcast. We got first week review for the playoffs for you, baby. Don't forget, you can find us at all your favorite social media. We got Twitter, Facebook. We're even on Instagram now at Give the letter N Go Podcast. If you want to listen to our podcast, you can find it anywhere where podcasts can be listened to. We've got a YouTube channel. We're on SoundCloud. We're even on the iTunes store now. We're legit. The best that we can be. You can find all of those and on the Google Play Store on apps such as Podcast Addict, wherever your favorite podcast can be found, at Give letter N Go Podcast. Remember, we give you the information. Now go do something with it. And don't let Jared Dudley try and talk his way out of being a great trash talker but a shit basketball player. Give and go.
And we out.
When I think about playoffs, my nipples get hurt.